Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and we're back taking a look at the next half of the Wild King line. It's the Japanese exclusive Transformers line from Takara Tomy. And today we have Megatron, who's like the main big figure, and then we have Captain Volca and Leafback. Now, a few things that I want to clarify from the last video. When it comes to the names, I'm basically getting this from news sites, but mostly Amazon Japan. And there was a bit of mistake. Hydro Fan, it wasn't correct. That was like a literal, like Amazon Japan putting the listing into English, stuff like that type of thing. It was like a kind of a mistransformation. The character's name is actually Hydro Phant, Phant, as an elephant. So that kind of makes a bit more sense with it being a mammoth character. And these are all energy beats, and that like Captain Volca here is fire, Leafback is grass, um, Light Long was lightning, Hydrophant is water. So it's kind of an elemental energy type of deal going on. Now, Captain Volca is the leader of the reptiles on the planet, which I think is called like a Energerlosis or something, Elementalosis or whatever. So basically, the reptiles are going to be the Decepticons of the line, which is a little unfortunate, which means that the Pteranodon that's coming out in Wave 2 is really going to be Decepticon based. I mean, that was going to be a backpack to form a winged backpack for the characters. And that the mammals, Light Long, Hydrophant, etc., and the lion that's coming, and the rhino, they're going to be the Autobots. And also, from what I can tell, is the Autobot beasts are going to have more of a melee and punch style, strike style of combat, where the reptiles are going to have energy blasts and stuff like that. As you already seen in the cartoon, Captain Volca will breathe fire. Um, so yeah, just want to get all that out of the way. Other than that, if you go back and watch the first video, I'll explain more of the line. But let's get right into it and take a look at Megatron. Okay, so obviously Megatron's a tank, and this is a very square H tank. I mean, yeah. Um, Very interesting how things are done here. The transformation, in my opinion, is a lot more involved than Optimus Prime, and there's a little bit more articulation with Megatron than with Optimus Prime, and I think a lot of that has to do with the whole that they got to make the bad guy characters a bit more appealing. So there's no wheels or anything, so this really can't roll. It just slides. And then if you do that on the wrong surface, you can scrape the paint. So the first thing you want to do is come underneath here, and you want to unpeg what would be the legs from the side, and then rotate it forward. There's a lot to the treads and the legs here that we're going to see in a second. Once that's done, go ahead and open up the side panels here, and what that's going to do is you'll fold these panels in and then straighten out the leg. And I guess at that point you can close them back up. Now, of course, you might have just caught that with those front tread pieces in, there's really no way to store the arms in the leg. So that's one thing that's going to be different. Turning this over, you're going to see how that this is the chest and how these legs are going to form. So first thing you want to do is rotate at the hip so the hip joint is facing down, and then rotate at the thigh so that that knee thigh area is facing forward, and then bring the legs down. And there you have the legs transformed. At first, it might seem a little tricky, but once you do it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. Come around the back here, and a lot of this is actually the same type of transformation as Optimus. Unpeg the fusion cannon from the forearm there, and then unpeg the arm from the shoulder, swing it forward, snap it into place. Do it the same thing here. And then what you can do is fold this back panel down and bring up Megatron's head, pushing it until it snaps into place. And then, just to finish off the transformation, rotate the forearms so that the elbows are facing forward, and then rotate the hands around so they're facing upright. Now, a few things to note is that yes, you can do the transformation with the fusion cannon attached, but the way the fusion cannon attaches to the arm, I kind of feel is wrong. I've always felt that the top of the cannon is facing outward. And if you look at the arm, it only has that single port, whereas like here it's a double connection, and you really can't like half it on, so you have to use that side port. But also, now that we have it in robot mode, um, ball joint at the head here, again a little bit limited due to the design of Megatron's head. The same universal shoulder design as Optimus has. You'll notice there was nothing to cover the shoulders like on Optimus. Bicep swivel, elbow bend, wrist articulation, which is new, uh, unhindered waist articulation, unhindered hip articulation, even though on Optimus you can move that panel, nice bend at the knee, and of course you do have the swivel down there. Now keep in mind, the swivel only works turning the legs inward. Outward, it's blocked due to the treads here. So realistically, you can get some rather unique uh, poses for Megatron here in terms of action and fighting and things of that nature. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in the Optimus video, but the both Optimus and Megatron come packaged in boxes, no window, but it's a plastic tray which you just open the tray and the figure is there. There's no tape or there's no ties or anything holding it down. While the elemental beasts, they're secured in a cardboard tray in the same style of box with the plastic ties. And in Megatron's case, the lid of the tray wasn't even taped down. And besides, the fusion cannon does come with this piece right here, which is the headpiece for when he's in uh, his super mode, which we'll get to in a bit because now we're going to take a look at Captain Volca and Leafback. All right, so here's the figures. Now, as I mentioned in the review with Optimus, there's basically two main molds that the elemental beasts are using and that they're repaints and retools of each other with a lot of shared parts across. The torsos are all the same. I think the upper thighs, the knees they're all the same. I'm sorry, the upper when you come down to the shins and stuff, that's where it gets a little bit different. Like Volca here, oh, excuse me. Uh, yeah, it's using most of the same parts from Leafback, but you have new arms, obviously, and they do switch up the transformation a little due to the new arms. Now, obviously, this guy is meant to homage Beast Wars Megatron, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Japanese exclusive of this done up in Beast Wars Megatron colors. But there, you can see the head a little. Now, Leafback, I'll be honest, I don't know if I have that elemental emblem on correct, but nice head there, forms a triceratops, and again, this one a little bit more of the Hydrophant design, so you're going to have that double collapsing leg, but they do all transform basically the same way. There's that main ready position, and then you can go to the limb mode or the beast mode. So what we're going to do now is take out Leafback, and we'll take a closer look at Captain Volca. And again, really, the transformation is the same. You just want to go ahead, remove the tail. Let's flip up the connector port there. Let's remove the head from the shoulders, same thing, bring up that connector port. And you can actually do the transformation with the elemental emblem attached, since it's going to stay in that position. So fold up the head, bring the arms back, bring them up, and as you bring them up, rotate the forearm so the T-Rex arm is facing forward. They're going to snap together just like that. And then this is where the change is. Just fold the forearms down along the back. At this point, you can go ahead and peg the legs together. It is, I do say it is a little tricky just because there's ball joints involved in getting and swivels and getting stuff lined up. Now, this here is what I would call the ready position for Volca. If you want to go ahead into limb mode, you would fold these legs up in the back. But going on into the dinosaur mode, I'm going to rotate that around. Rotate. Oh yeah, rotate it around like this. Like for some reason, I had a momentary brain fart, and then just start reattaching the pieces. The head goes on right there, and the tail will just plug into the rear section, the butt, right there. And because of the hinge, you do have a little articulation there, and the jaw can open, which, as you kind of good, since in the show it opens up and it's like a flame blaster for Megatron. But and you just angle the knees ever so slightly, and there you have a really cute looking tabletop T-Rex. Um, so that's kind of cool and interesting. So real quick, let's just go ahead and flip these connectors back out like that and like that. And let's get back into the ready position. So now what you're going to do is bring these forearm pieces back up, keep them a little straight, and then just fold these legs up along the back. And just like on all the other ones, there's little tabs here on the back that will fit into slots on the feet. And there you go. And we're going to leave the elemental emblem attached for right now, just to so I don't lose it and it doesn't get knocked around. But I'll show you what to do. Oh, you know what? Since we're here, and you actually want to keep that double connector out because the head now will attach into the bottom there, forming the blaster, whereas this is going to go into the side of Megatron's shoulder. So you're actually going to be using that double connector as well. We'll see when we get there, but that's Captain Volca there. Bringing in Leafback. Again, really nice looking. And the transformation is going to be very similar. In fact, are these like the same kind of tails? No, the tails are different, but so we're just going to do that. Flip up for the connector. Flip up for the connector. And then just do the same transformation. Bring that head in, rotate the arms back, bring them together, bring it up on the shoulder, rotate the forearm so the dinosaur feet are facing forward. I should say reptile feet. You can leave the leaf emblem there, peg the legs together. Just you might have to rotate the joint, like massage the joint a little, like or rotate it into place to get it to close up like that. Rotate it around. And now here comes the fun part. Flip the toes down, and then on this double hinge, flip up the robot feet to reveal the dinosaur feet, just like that, and then bring this whole leg section down. Remember, if it doesn't tuck in, the toes don't tuck in properly, make sure you're bending first on the hinge here, and then on the one that's connected to the larger robot joint, the robot knee joint. Attach the Triceratops head here, and yes, the horns can articulate. And then bring the tail in here on the back, and you have a very nice green Triceratops. So you can bring the horns down, bring them up. Really cool. So again, going into now the limb mode, I'm going to leave these the way they are, and bring the head off. Yeah, we'll see how this works for Megatron. Bring the legs back out, rotate at the waist. You're going to leave the forearms the way they are because they're already set up for it. Bring the legs back down and just make sure they're flush right there. Bring the heels back and now bend up backwards at the knee and they'll tap into place along the back there. So there you have Leafback in its combine mode, and I just realized I did the hand wrong here because that's going to peg in that way, which means for Leafback, you grab the head this way and plug it into that port. And there's that. Oh, leave the toes out. So all that's left now is to get Megatron ready, which we'll do right after this. Okay, to prepare Megatron, what you want to do, unpeg this helmet piece from the back. There are two slots here on the back of the head, and I'll be honest, I have a little bit of a time getting them in. And did I just get them in on the first shot? See, I don't know if I actually got it in or it's like it's going to knock off because it does limit the rotation of the head. All right, but yeah, looks like I got it. I think I got it. There we go. It's staying. So now the first thing you want to do is pull off the arm, and then the question is going to become, where can you stick the arm? Well, that's a very good question. Like on Optimus Prime, you can fold up the connector, and there is this connector here, which is where the Pteranodon would peg in from like Wave 2, and you can stick it there for now. But I'm going to show you something else that I think is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and remove the fusion cannon, flip down this chest, and let's bring in Captain Volca. And Captain Volca is going to go on that arm. So we're going to peg it in here. Very nice detail on the chest there, the super mode of sorts, the combined mode. Oh, and the combining is called wild docking. So that's where that name is still being used. So just peg it in like that, and there you go. Let's open up the mouth a little, and yep, you got that going. Now, with the fusion cannon, how about right here? We can get like a little double action going. Now, of course, we're going to deal with this arm, and the question becomes, well, what are you going to do there? And sure enough, if you notice, there's pegs there, so you can actually peg the two arms together, and that'll hold it in place as I knock off the helmet, which I knew was going to happen at some point. But there you go. And almost forgot, besides the head and the arm, this will go into the side of Megatron's shoulder. And let's remove the Leaf Elemental and attach it here. And just get things lined up. So you got that going. And here we go into this port, just like that. And there is a Leaf Shield. And let's go ahead and get the tail section. And I think I just knocked the damn helmet off again, but tail section is in. So there you go. The full, combined. Remember, there's no elbow, so I shouldn't say full combined, but here you got this. And in the cartoon, no, they do not attach the fusion cannon to Volca like that. But obviously, if you're going to switch the arms around, you would change the placement of the heads so the faces are facing a different way. But yeah, so this is kind of cool. It works. So there's that. All right, but now as we know that there's also the legs. So what am I going to do? I think the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to bring Optimus in, and I'm going to show you what he looks like fully combined with these as arms. Okay, so here's Optimus with the legs already, the Autobot limbs already in place as the legs. Let's go ahead and attach the elemental bits for Captain Volca, and leaf shield, and nice little colorful pattern there, powers combined and all that. And then these will come on just like so. Bring that into the shoulder. Now again, this, as far as I know, this hasn't been shown in the show yet. I don't think the newest episode is up, but here we go, and there we go. Here is basically what Optimus Prime will look like, completely wild up, powered up, wild Doc Max, whatever they'll call it in the show. And yeah, kind of cool. Obviously, I think when the next two come, we'll have a full set of Autobot limbs, so we can do this properly in the Autobot style. Um, Real quick, I guess I probably should show something. That just pop this off, and that's that. You can do the thing with these figures. You can do the thing from the comic book. Uh, since again the connection ports are the same, so there you go. There you go. So yeah, you can give Optimus Megatron's arm with, well, at least the forearm with the fusion cannon. But so I've already started popping these apart. Let's just go ahead and show you how to make the legs for Megatron, and then combine them up in that regard. Okay, so bringing Megatron back in, let's just go ahead and connect the elemental bits to him first so we can see how they look on his form. I do appreciate how they did use like a metallic type of paint on these, so just be careful when you're handling them and that they don't get scraped around. But yeah, that looks kind of cool. So to do the legs, it's going to be the same thing like Optimus, where the legs are going to switch positions. So fold them out like this. This time the toe is going to become that front tread. So there's that. And we're going to do it on this side. And, I guess, is that out now? Can that fit in with that sticking out? Or, I saw that. I just noticed that post. And if I just fold it up like that, and no, it doesn't seem. Oh, let me try the other arm. Oh, you know what? You can store the forearms now in the legs with those treads folded out. Just go ahead and but like I said, the tread has to be folded out. So there's that. So the treads will be facing out to the out. These parts of the treads will be facing to the outside. So here's Lifelong. Let's see how it connects to Megatron. Here's Hydrofan. Same thing. And bring them up. Bring them on. There's one. Oh, not really. That connection port on Lightlong is very finicky. I'm starting to realize. Yeah, see? That one's nice and tight, but I mean, I'm shoving it in there, and there we go. So there's the legs on Megatron, or I should say Megatron with its robot, with its combined legs. That this guy here just keeps popping off. Well, you know, I did say yesterday that some of these would have issues because again, the more you plug things in, plug things out, that's going to loosen up the connection. So there is that. I mean, oh, the foot just popped off. There we go. And then that popped off the leg. I mean, if it goes on, it'll stay on, but when you start touching things, uh, which, what exactly are you supposed to do? Not touch? So there's that. And now, with the leg stored in the feet, if you want, and there's no ports on the back of the fusion cannon. So I don't know. I like it here on Volca, but there's Megatron in its full combined badass design right there. Trying to get it all in, but those horns are kind of high. You do still have the knees there. Um, Obviously, again, no elbows, but you do have the bicep swivel. So yeah, I think these all look cool, and really, it's going to be more as time goes on. It's like you have all these ports here, here, posts here on the back, ports on the back of the leg, on the foot, so bottom of the foot. So there's a lot there that you can do. So it'll be interesting to see like how this works out and what more is going to be coming, if anything. How long this line is supposed to go. So once again, for Pete's sake, I think we're just going to go into my final thoughts, and my final thoughts are very positive. I do like this line. I think it's very interesting. Yeah, you're obviously seeing on my copy, light long is a little fiddly in that regard, but I don't know if that's just me, my copy, or there's something going on there. I think I'm going to say it's just mine, since it's, even on Megatron, it was a little flupe. But yeah, these are fun. Now, of course, we do have the issue of um, how to get them. I did check Amazon Japan again, and it seems like all of these, including the two packs of Megatron and Captain Volca and Optimus and Lightlong, are sold out. They still do not have listings for the next wave of Energy Beasts. Um, so with that, and again, if what I heard is correct, that a lot of places are not making them available for import to the U.S., that makes this line very limiting very quickly. Because, I mean, while the transformations are going to get stale very quickly, the cross play pattern, the connections and stuff, that's what's going to be fun in the long run. And if you're going to be limited to just two main robots, four energy beasts, that's going to get stale very quickly, and then that makes it very hard for me to recommend the line. Now, considering that maybe you will be able to get them, yeah, definitely check these out. Personally, I mean, I know the gift set is, though the two pack is kind of enticing, but I really don't think you get the full effect of the figures if you don't have at least four of the energy beasts. So just figure out, do you like Megatron more? Do you like Optimus more? And then go and pick up uh, that main robot, and then get the four energy beasts, and that could be your experience with the line. Wave 2 is supposed to come in June. I don't know after that what's going to happen. So there's about it. But overall, I think it's a positive experience. I think the transformation of Optimus, well, I shouldn't say it's more fun, but it's a little more straightforward. But with Megatron, you do end up with a more articulated robot in its core form. The combined forms are exactly the same in terms of articulation, just due to the nature of the beast, pardon the pun. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. Well, appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions. Help communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like this to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. But as I always say, if you can't afford the $1 a month or $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. And I really do mean that. Your support just by watching the videos goes a long way, especially when it's stuff like this that ends up being a little bit longer because I have multiple figures to review and really I'm introducing you to a new line. But that's about it. Once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Wild Kingdom Megatron, Captain Volca, and Leafback. And at least this time I was able to remember the names better. We will see you next time.